Hey everybody, it's Adam from IHP and we're back with JC Unplugged. We're up to episode 9. We've missed you for a few weeks. JC was in China for what seemed like 14 days in China. All kinds of crazy stuff, whatever he does over in China.
Then Ecuador, then
Minnesota. So we're back on track. So we'll get right into some of the questions for us. Question number 1. Should myofascial release be a part of every client's program? And if so, when do you recommend it to be done?
The straight answer is no. It doesn't have to be part of everybody else's program. Myofascial release should be done for a reason. Well, the word itself tells you that it's releasing some muscle. My question is always a why. Why are you releasing the muscle? In other words, why is the muscle spasming? Why does the muscle need to be released? Release, no. The muscle is spasming because there's an injury to a joint that it's associated with. So let's say that you have arthritis at the knee and the hip like I have. Well, of course your IT band is going to always be just jacked up because everything along the muscles crossing the knee and the hip are going to be spasming. So you get this IT band thing. So you roll it and so you can squat 300 pounds a gazillion times and do more damage. So you have to look, why is it spasming? What are you releasing? What are you doing after you release? And what is the long-term care in that? If you're releasing for the sake of doing more damage, like I did, then myofascial release is basically turning off the alarm in the house and letting the thieves run away with everything. So, no, it's not for everybody. And I think, to tell you the truth, it's probably not even used very, very intelligently these days. I think it's just used to numb down an area so you can do more damage.
So the individuals that know why they're doing it, and they're doing it for a purpose, when would you suggest that they do it?
I would like to know when they're doing it and what the purpose is. I would say that it would be part of a rehab program, okay, to quiet down an area, all right, to then be able to say, okay, what is the problem with the area? If the problem with the area is a certain training, then do we need to do that training? If the answer is yes, then no, you're doing damage. Let's say $1 million athlete, all right? He has arthritis, but he's got 2 more years on his contract. You myofascial that, and you do the training that he needs to do to stay on the team so he can earn his $2-3 million a year. Understand that those 2 or 3 years could cause permanent damage. If you're a fitness person and you're doing myofascial release to quiet the thing down, is to make transition from a training situation that's hurting you. So let's say, for example, that squats and deadlifting hurt you because you have a condition that it hurts. Okay, you may be a candidate then for the 45-degree angle, for cable deadlifting and other forms of leg strength training that don't, aggravate the muscle that you're biofoaming.
This is a question that kind of, I think, fits in the same category, so I'll read it. Do you have to stretch every day to become more flexible? Kind of fits in the same.
Again, what's flexibility? What are you stretching? The answer right off the bat is no, because the flexibility that I care about is the range of motion. What is flexibility? Range of motion. That's what it is. Range of motion around the joint. Okay, what range of motion do I care about? The one that I can display while I'm laying down, passed out with general anesthesia and somebody can move me? Is that the range I'm interested in? Or the range I'm interested in is the range that I can control? So the range I'm interested in is the range that I can control. Let's take an example. Hamstring. Hamstring going down for a low position involving tennis and wrestling, whatever. Tying a shoe in here. This is not the full range of motion of the hamstrings or at the hip. But can I control body weight at big speeds or even normal speeds to be able to tie my shoe and get down here in sports? So that's the range of motion I need. If I can do a sit and reach for 25 or put my head between my knees, I'm not interested in that flexibility. It's not specific flexibility. So flexibility is strength, strength is flexibility. So if you're moving the joint, if you're moving the angle in a specific range that you need, you don't need additional flexibility where you've got what you need. And any further flexibility does nothing for you.
What is your favorite functional exercise and why?
Reaching lunge, if I have to choose one. Reaching lunge, and the one that's kind of like right in there, it's almost like a very, very close cousin is the anterior reach. But the reaching lunge is because I can do a lot from the reaching lunge that mimics the anterior reach, but I can't do a lot from the anterior reach that mimics the reaching lunge. The reaching lunge is this. boom, okay? That's the movement right there. Reason it's my favorite is because most of the big injuries occur to the hamstring and lower spine. And one of the biggest things we do other than locomote is decelerate and pick up things. So that anterior reach has locomotion in it, has 7 in it, has deceleration in it, has hip extension when you're coming back. That'll help in forward projection. So it's got a lot of cool stuff. Anterior reaching lunge, I have to choose.
Very cool. What are some key exercises for low back pain?
First criteria is stuff that doesn't hurt. But I would say my go-to exercises for people with acute backs would be the bridge. Put your feet on something high, the stability ball, sofa, and start bridging. Is that cool? Fine. Then I put the belly on the ball and try an extension. Is that fine? Great. Then I try to reverse hyper. So those 3 from the stability ball are the easiest thing. Then the cable deadlift, where we have the cable coming down and we kind of sit, and at the lowest position when it's the hardest on the back, that's when you get the most amount of traction. So that's also good for lower backs. Then you can go to the staggered position, then you get back to the anterior reach position. So easy, low-lying fruit, bridges, extensions, and reverse hypers on the stability ball. From a standing environment, cable deadlift.
Why does fish oil cause upset stomachs during the first week of consumption? And is there any evidence that is there evidence of an increase in joint health while consuming fish oil? So
I don't know if fish oil has that effect on everybody, because I know it doesn't have that effect on me, and it doesn't have that effect on a bunch of people. But I know that some people do regurgitate fish oils, and then you would have to look at different brands, okay? And so I'm not so sure that it causes stomach ache or anything, unless you're allergic to it or it's bad quality or something like that. In terms of its benefits, the anti-inflammatory response to fish oil is probably the biggest benefit, and of course when it goes to joint health, that's one of the things that it does really, really good.
Okay, let's see where we are. Will an increase in protein for endurance athletes have any benefit in aerobic type intensities?
Yeah, we already know that the 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight is not even enough for endurance athletes. So if you're looking at as the 0.8 per kilogram of body weight, per kilogram body weight as your reference, then yeah, you got to up that for anything. So endurance people, they're looking at 1.2 to 1.4 in that range, maybe as high as 1.6, and strength athletes 1.8 to 2.2. If you look at Peter Lemon's work from the 1990s and nitrogen positive work that he did. So yeah, so look, seriously, if you want to just be in the normal healthy range, 1 gram per pound, done. Can't miss. You can't miss with that. If you come up a little short, you're still pretty good. 1 gram per pound. So if you weigh 150 pounds, it's 150 grams. You weigh 200 grams. Easy.
Okay, what are some of the best exercises we can do to improve power in youth basketball players?
Power? Youth basketball. Easiest, if you look at research, we know that a weighted box jump can come within 100 watts of the second phase of the pull. So the acceleration phase of a clean and jerk, the high pull area. So I would say based on that research, which is Craig's and Richardson and all those guys from Baker, all those guys from Australia, Newton, we know that easily weighted jumps, you know.
But do you think because these basketball players in general are doing so much running up and down the court, jumping, explosive activities, rebounds, things of that nature, that I lost my train of thought on that.
That jumping would be more jumping would be better.
So no, not necessarily not more power would be better, but teaching these youth athletes more about deceleration than teaching them more about explosive activities, because they're already doing it.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're doing it, but I think they can still use more horsepower, because if you look at, all right, what's getting them up? If they're using the elastic properties of their wiry bodies, because if you look at basketball players, they're not exactly mesomorphs, you know, they're kind of wiry and lanky. So these guys use a lot of elasticity. So for those guys, I'm going to look at developing more strength, and then making that strength fire quickly. So certainly get them to squat more, get them to push sleds and all that, give them a stronger lower body, and then box jumps are the easiest thing to do, you know, and of course sprinting, but those types of things, all the single leg stuff that we do when they're coming off of a single leg for a rebound, or for dunking, or for whatever, you know, that's going to help as well. So for basketball players, I like the idea of increasing their strength with sleds, some squatting. I'll even take leg pressing if that's all you've got. Box jumps are the easiest way. And of course the landing is saved on the box jump, which is nice because I can give them more power. The landing, they land plenty in practice. So I wouldn't spend gym time on the landing unless I see that the landing is like horrendous. Then I may spend some stuff on just coming off boxes and landing to teach them. Once I teach them, I'm back to strength and power.
If a trainer is unable to retain his or her clients after the first couple of training packages, what might be going wrong and what can a trainer do to help retain their clients? So this is more of a less training and more business-oriented question.
Well, there's reasons why people stop training. If somebody lost their job, there's nothing a trainer can do about that except training for free. All right? And we don't recommend that because you got to feed yourself. All right? So they can also move. They can also not have the right personality. And I can't ask a trainer to change their personality because if you're a combat guy, you're a combat guy no matter how much compassion and stuff you have, you'll never be a yoga type of person. So some people require that yoga mentality, it's soft. And if you're not that person, you can fake it. You can try to be that person, but you're not going to be as good as somebody who's naturally like that. So barring that obvious difference in personality, all right, you didn't connect with the person. Personal training has personal in front of it because of a reason. It's not the training. It's how you implement the training, how you listen to the person, how you make them feel that you're there for them, compassion and love, kindness, forgiveness, all that stuff wrapped into one. Do they dig you? If they dig you, because they dig the way you greet them, they dig the way you move them along, they dig the way that when they don't feel like it, you either convince them or you find something else. They gotta dig you. Right? There's things you can do to round off your personality and learn people's skills. Okay? And you need to understand it. You need to understand what jokes you can cut, what jokes you can't cut. You have to have a good personality and you have to connect with people. So that's an ongoing process. You know, that's an ongoing process. So I think trainers losing clients, right? If it's personality, certain things you can learn. Definitely you can learn. Customer service. You can get along. You can get a long way with showing up on time, looking the right way, being respectful, being right on, paying attention to them, not high five and talk about the playoffs, not look at the TV, not be working out with them and shit like that. You know, I'm all for working out if the client pleads with you to work out. Okay, I personally don't like it. I think it's unprofessional. Okay, but there's certain one of our clients, certain clients that ask for it. Okay. If the client insists on it, fine. Okay? I don't like it. You can't pay attention when you're doing that. And you really can't be there for the client because you're busy pushing the extra rep or two while they're doing something else. Okay? So you have to think of that as well. I can see that some clients may not want to be with the trainer because they don't feel that trainers know what they're doing. You're not paying attention, you're not guiding them through their exercise, you're not coaching them, I have seen trainers lose clients because they're not paying attention, period, end of story. They're not paying attention. I could be doing something wrong. I'll do something wrong on purpose to see if they catch it. I've heard that from clients. I'll do something wrong on purpose to see if they catch it. And then when they don't catch it 2 or 3 times, they ain't watching it. And if they ain't watching it, I'm out. So, A, control what you can control. Professionalism. Customer service, all right? Those 2 things you can control. You got to be on that. I think that'll save you 80% of it.
Okay. That's it. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with episode 10 of JC Unplugged. In the meantime, feel free to send me your questions at Adam@IHPFit. And be sure to visit IHP's Facebook page and be sure to like us. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.